The anime opens in a school setting where we meet Yuki, a melancholic student gazing out the window. His childhood friend, Yuhi, interrupts him, teasing him and trying to cheer him up. Although he only manages a small smile, Yuki's thoughts turn and he starts wondering about the other world. Suddenly, a magic circle appears in the middle of the classroom and transports the entire class to a barren wasteland in an unknown location. As everyone panics, Yuki appears excited by the sudden turn of events. The students notice an army of cursed armor approaching, causing Yuhi to jump and hug Yuki to protect him. However, to her surprise, Yuki effortlessly defeats the armor with a single finger. As they continue running, they encounter another army, but this time it's a human one, fighting against the cursed armor. The students find a safe place and decide to head towards the capital for protection. Upon arriving at the capital, the king expresses his gratitude to the students for coming to their aid during the crisis. He informs them that demons are attacking the kingdom once again, as they did 5 years ago, and asks for their help in defeating it. After some thought, the students agree to assist the kingdom, believing that it would be safer to remain within the castle walls. The following day, their training begins, with everyone putting their best efforts into combat and magic training. Meanwhile, Yuki watches the training from a distance, seemingly disinterested in participating. A female knight named Elka sees him slacking and decides to teach him a lesson, but to her surprise, Yuki effortlessly dodges her attack and even manages to spank her. Elka then kneels down and addresses him as Setsu, the hero from 5 years ago who helped in defeating the demon army. After the incident, Yuki meets with his old party members, Glean and Thea, and shares his story from 5 years ago. He tells them about his final battle with a guy named Toma, where their powers collided, and the next thing he knew, he was reborn into modern-day Japan. Despite being in a different world, his magic and memories stayed intact, and now the king had summoned him again to fight the demons. Setsu suspects that Toma, who has the ability to control cursed energy, is behind the upcoming war. And while they're discussing this, a knight suddenly appears and informs Glenn that the king wants to see him urgently. Glenn leaves to meet the king, while Setsu and the others enjoy the beautiful view of the fantasy world. Setsu continues to wonder about Toma and his current whereabouts. Meanwhile, the king declares an all-out war against the demon army. However, Glenn buys some time by arguing that the students need more training before they can fight effectively. Yuhi manages to perform her first magic and receives praise from Setsu. Later that night, Setsu meets with his party members and tells them that he will go alone to stop the war. They ask to accompany him, but he refuses and asks them to protect the kingdom in his absence. Next day, they manage to sneak into the storage room using invisibility magic. There, Setsu finds his old weapon and exits the kingdom. However, Yushi stops him, and he explains his past life and current situation to her. Yuhi is shocked by his story and asks to go with him, but Setsu denies her request and advises her to become stronger to survive in this world. After some arguing, she eventually agrees and promises to become stronger and come to his rescue someday. Setsu says goodbye to everyone and embarks on his journey to find answers. Meanwhile, somewhere, we see a jewelry artisan arguing with a customer for a special item. However, after seeing the amount of money being offered, he quickly agrees to sell the item and promises to deliver it after polishing. Later, the artisan explains to his granddaughter the importance of money, emphasizing the need to value it and use it wisely. Tragically, the next day, the artisan passes away, leaving his granddaughter, Ruri, alone. In honor of her grandfather's last wish, Ruri sets out to deliver the item to the customer. As Ruri drives her carriage through the dark night, she suddenly gets attacked by a giant boar. Frightened, she tries to plead for her life by offering money to the boar, but it leaps at her anyway. Closing her eyes in fear, Ruri prepares for the worst, but she's saved just in time by a stranger named Setsu. Initially suspicious of Setsu's intentions, Ruri assumes he may be after her money. However, Setsu reassures her, stating that he doesn't want any money. As they talk, Setsu asks Ruri why she's not traveling with any bodyguards. Ruri explains that she left on short notice and didn't have time to make proper arrangements. As Setsu prepares to leave, Ruri stops him and offers to pay him for accompanying her to the town port. Initially, Setsu declines her offer, but after seeing her determination, he agrees to help her for free. When asked about the box, she completely refuses to tell him what's inside. As Ruri and Setsu arrive at the port town, Ruri wastes no time and goes straight to a ship owner, requesting passage to the demon continent. However, the ship owner refuses, citing the ongoing war and, travel restrictions. Undeterred, Rory tries approaching other ship owners, but they all reject her for the same reason. Setsu, observing Rory, decides to step in and help her. However, he sees her getting stopped by the royal guards, who demand to see Rory's license. After verifying her credentials, the guards ask to search her bag, but Rory refuses to comply. The situation quickly escalates and Setsu intervenes, asking the guards for a search permit. Unable to provide one, the guards are forced to back down, and Rory expresses her gratitude towards Setsu for his help. Later, while enjoying some sandwiches, Setsu reveals to Rory that he's also traveling to the demon continent and offers to take her with him. However, he has one condition: that Rory must rest for the night, as she's not slept in several days. Rory agrees to the condition and they decide to rent a room at the inn. At said inn, Setsu suggests that Rory take a bath to relax and refresh herself. She agrees, and before leaving to take her bath, she entrusts Setsu with the box that she's been carrying. She finally reveals the item, which turns out to be a brooch. Setsu recognizes the brooch but chooses not to disclose his knowledge to Rory. She explains to him about her grandfather and his dying last wish, which is to deliver the brooch to the buyer. Later, when Rory goes to take the bath, Setsu takes a closer look at the brooch and seems to have some familiarity with it, hinting at a possible connection between him and the brooch's history. As Setsu and Rory are sleeping at the inn, they're suddenly awoken by the arrival of some royal guards, searching for them. Setsu quickly realizes the situation and makes a daring escape through the window, with Rory in tow. They're being chased for a while, but Setsu, using his resourcefulness, sets a trap that catches the guards, off guard, allowing them to slip away. However, the chase eventually leads them to a dead end, with the guards closing in. In a desperate move, Setsu grabs Rory's hand and leaps from a railing, intending to jump into the water below. But just as they're about to fall, they're caught by a leviathan named Levia. To their surprise, Setsu seems to know Levia, and he requests the leviathan to transport them to the demon continent. On the other hand, the guards exchange bewildered glances and wonder what they should report to their superiors. One of them suggests that they should keep silent about the encounter, treating it as if it were just a dream, as reporting dreams would be absurd. Meanwhile, Rory is surprised to see the god of the sea, Levia, as Setsu's friend. After some traveling, they finally arrive at their destination, the demon continent, and we see Levia engaging in a fight with a giant squid monster, which Setsu seems to enjoy watching. After Levia successfully defeats the monster, Setsu introduces Rory to Levia, who's taken the form of a girl, because anime. However, Levia is angry with Setsu for not helping in the fight. As they examine the giant squid monster, Setsu decides to make some fried squid rings, which everyone enjoys. I don't know what it is about anime, but they always make food look so damn delicious. During this time, Rory learns that she is delivering her goods to the Demon Lord's castle, with the Demon Lord Dazastel as her customer, which almost causes her to faint. Levia expresses her anger towards Setsu for showing up after 5 years and treating her like a mere boat. Some demon children come to support Levia and agree with her. However, Setsu quiets them down by feeding them some squid rings, which they obviously enjoy. The children ask Setsu to make more for the other villagers, and he agrees by taking the defeated monster to the village. Meanwhile, the villagers are worried about the monster squid and decide to kill it. Suddenly, Setsu arrives and shows them the, already dead squid, which takes them by surprise. Later, the villagers celebrate the defeat of the squid monster, and Setsu and Rory treat everyone with squid rings. Meanwhile, the personal guard of the demon lord Vlad sees light coming from the village, and mistakes it for a fire. At the village, the party's coming to an end, and we see Levia and Rory talking. Levia shares with Rory the story of how she met Setsu, and it turns out that she might have feelings for him. Suddenly, Vlad arrives and realizes the village is actually having a celebration. After the party, Setsu finally meets Vlad, and they seem to know each other. Vlad swallows his pride and asks for help from Setsu and Levia to save the Demon King. Vlad explains to Setsu and Levia that the Demon Lord is being forced to marry a man named Terran Sneeder, who's allegedly using a curse energy to control the event. Terran claims that he can stop the war if the Demon Lord marries him. Vlad also tells them about the humans attacking the Demon Continent, which sounds suspicious to Setsu. Rory interrupts them by informing them that Terran is actually the wealthiest merchant, and is very famous. Setsu gets angry and asks Vlad why they're not opposing Terran, to which Levia explains that the Demon Lord promised Setsu that she would create peace, which stuns him. Levia and Setsu decide to help the Demon Lord and leave immediately, while Vlad protects Rory. While running, they get attacked by some monsters, but they easily take care of them. Finally, Setsu explains that it's strange, because when he first entered the world, he saw a demon army controlled by curse energy attacking humans. However, on the demon continent, they claim that humans attacked first. With too many questions in mind, they finally see the demon castle in the distance. Their journey is just beginning. Will they be able to complete their goal and find the answers they seek? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for the next episodes to see how their adventure unfolds. And hey, if you're enjoying this recap, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more updates. That's all for today, anime fans. See you in the next video. Goodbye.